And we are live. You know, these have like low key become like my favorite episodes to film. Like
Yep.
just me and
Yep.
you on Zoom. Who would have thought, man? When this started, I was like, never, I'm never doing Zoom. I would rather
hmm
just do it alone. And then I'm like in Jacksonville, and I'm like, yo, Mike, slide on the Zoom. So yeah, these have low key become my favorite episodes to film. Love them. Today we're gonna be talking about our top 10 defensive players going into the 2022-2023 season. Um, we didn't really talk about anything that's on the list. I asked him one
Nope.
question. I said, "How many middle linebackers?" He said,
Mhm.
"Oh, maybe a couple, maybe not." That's the only answer I got. I have no idea what his list is going to look like. I have a feeling we're both going to have the same number one for two lists, maybe all three lists, but neither here nor there. All right, let's just jump straight into it. At number 10, defensive players.
hmm
I put middle linebacker from the Colts, Darius Leonard.
I got respect. I mean,
That
honestly,
man a dog.
he is a dog. I'm not gonna lie. For some reason, he never even popped into my head. And I will
That's
say,
because the
when I,
Colts get no respect. The Colts get no respect, and that's why people forget Darius Leonard is a dog. Who you got
and
at 10, my boy?
I will say, I put. I remember, I put hours into each one of these lists that we put into. I don't necessarily remember exactly why I might have everyone here, but I do remember that they were all for great reasons. So let
Hey,
me just throw
man.
that out there. If I can't exactly defend myself in this moment, just know if you had caught me on that day, I would have had the facts. But for number 10, I got linebacker for the Patriots, Matt Judon. I know he had 12 and a half sacks. I know that for a fact.
Matt Judon a dog.
Yeah, I know he dogged it up this season. He was,
He's literally the leader of that defense.
yeah,
That's and the
on a good
Patriots are.
defense.
I don't. I'm not mad at that pick at all. You want to throw him in the top 10? Matt Judon a dog. I have no pressure. The thing about top 10 list is that for me personally, you could take number 5 through 10 and throw them out the window and give me six brand new players, and that list would still make sense to me in some way, shape,
Yeah,
or form.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
like the top four are
yeah.
like nobody's gonna do like I'm.
And with you saying that, I'm real proud of my 10 through 6. Looking at it right now, I'm like, damn, these are dogs.
I love my
Damn.
10 through 6, bro. I got dogs. I got
So
dogs.
let me get it started off at number 9 because you got
All
to
right,
start
go
off
ahead.
number
Go
10.
ahead.
Number 9, the only safety I have on this list, and I would think arguably the best safety in the league. There might be one other dude, but I got Kevin Byard on the Titans. Dude went crazy. Dude went
Fired on
crazy
the.
last season. Arguably, he was one of the top-rated safeties by Pro Football Focus, which I know isn't the only
Hey
stat that's
man, you're not
available,
gonna get
but
no hate from Pro Football Focus on this
that's
podcast.
what
G.
I love
Look,
Pro Football
we
Focus.
Pro Football
That
Focus does its fucking job. Okay.
But Kevin Byard for the Titans. You could argue Tyrann Matthew should be here instead of him.
What do you think about
But
Minka? Because Minka, if we had a list of just
ooh,
safeties, Minka would be
mm-hmm,
my number one safety.
mm-hmm. I
But
do.
I'm not
You
mad
know
at Kevin Byard. I'm really not.
that is true. But the thing is, Minka is on a stacked defense, so I think maybe he gets a little bit overshadowed by players. Maybe that's why I overlooked him a bit because I do know Minka is one hell of a dog.
He
But
dog.
Kevin Byard just seemed to dog it up this season.
Hey,
Titans.
I'm not mad. Kevin Byard did have one hell of a season. My number 9, I went back to back middle linebackers just because to me they're like damn near the same player. It's just who do I trust more to make the play?
Mm-hmm.
For me, I had to put number 9, middle linebacker, Fred Warner from the San Francisco 49ers. I'm a middle linebacker dude. I've always been a middle linebacker dude. In Madden, I run a 3-4 defense. My whole life, I've run a 3-4 defense. I always loved two middle linebackers
Yep.
across the field. I've been a middle linebacker guy since I was a little kid. Brian Urlacher, Ray Lewis, Zach Thomas. Looked up to all those guys. So I'm giving middle linebacker some love today. And
Yep.
yeah, Fred Warner at number 9. Fred
Yeah.
Warner at number 9.
Gotta love it. I mean, can't be mad at Fred Warner.
Can't
Dude
be,
is.
he's like, bro. Defensive players. Like I love defensive players. Like they're either like so good that you don't care what their personality's like, or they're
Mm-hmm.
genuinely amazing people that are just dogs. So defense, like I love defensive players. At number 8, I also have a Steeler at number 8, but my Steeler is Cam Haywood. I think Cam Haywood is the most disrespected
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
defender in the entire league. I think
I
nobody
agree.
gives him the credit he deserves, and he's definitely been a top 10 player for the past 6 to 7 seasons.
I agree. And with that being said, my number 8 is linebacker for the Cowboys, Micah Parsons.
I like it. I got Micah on my list.
And you know what? I didn't even think about it, but I think kind of with what you were saying, going back to the Madden thing, you got to like your fast middle linebackers. Micah Parsons is that dude.
Micah's a dog.
And I mean, you just couldn't stop hearing about the guy throughout the season.
Defensive Rookie of the Year. He was a rookie last year. He's going into his second season. You have him at 8, and I have him higher. And I have him higher. If that doesn't speak to the greatness that is Micah Parsons, I don't know what it is. So you want to go ahead and kick off 7?
Kick off 7. I think you're going to like this one. I hope you don't feel disrespected at all, but I think he might not. I think he could have been overlooked for you. I don't know how, but oh wait, never mind. You might not like this. I got cornerback for the Dolphins, Xavier Howard, but I don't know how you feel about this anymore.
Look, guys,
we love Xavier. We love Xavier, but I don't know how we feel about the Miami outlook.
Look, I've given 22 years of my life to the Miami Dolphins. And, I'm just sick and tired of that shit. It's like
that's how I was feeling for a while.
We inch close and close and close, and then we just shoot ourselves in the foot. So after the firing of Brian Flores, I just turned it off. I was like, you know what? I still have love for this team. I still have love for these players. But in terms of giving a fuck, I give none. Like, they could go 0-16. They could go 16-0. I would not care. I wouldn't have a thing to say about it. But I have one corner on my list, and it's not X, but X is a true shutdown corner, and I love that man. So I'm not mad. At number 7, I have another edge rusher. This one, another 49er. I got to go Nick Bosa.
Let me just say I got him at number 6.
Do you really?
We could just talk about that right now.
Bro, Nick Bosa's a dog.
Yeah. I feel like it's impossible to not have Nick Bosa on this list.
Came into the league, tore shit up, then literally tore his ACL, and then came back and was better than before. I've never seen a player immediately come back after an ACL,
a bionic knee,
and just be better than he was before the ACL. So I love Nick Bosa. I made his sandwich when I worked at Las Patas. They grew up right down Lauderdale by the Sea. Went to I think they both went to Cardinal Gibbons.
Okay.
They went to St. Thomas, but they lived next to Cardinal Gibbons. And Nick Bosa, hell of a dude, was super, super nice. He had a 15-minute conversation with my boss. Love that guy. Super good guy. I know his Twitter looking crazy. He got some crazy shit to say on Twitter. But, hey, from my experience with him, he's a really nice guy. And on top of that, he's definitely a top 10 defensive player in the league, and can't nobody tell me shit.
Yep.
So at 6, you have Nick Bosa.
Yep.
So that's good. At 6, I got Max Crosby. Edge rusher for the Raiders.
Okay.
My man went to rehab and then came out of rehab and was like, you know what? All that energy I spent doing drugs and drinking, I'm going to put it on the field. And last year, he had one hell of a season. I think he was second in the league in sacks. He just signed his new contract with the Raiders. I love a good feel-good story, and I love a good football player, and Max Crosby does all of those things for me. I put him at 6. Who you got at 6, my boy?
Nick Bosa, but at number 5,
right.
Someone you said he's on your list previously, way overlooked, one of the most overlooked players in the league. I got Cam Hayward for the Steelers at number 5. Didn't get overlooked for me. I have him as a top 5 player in the league. The dude has been dogging it up for quite some time now, and he just continues to do it.
He continues to get better. It's not that he continues to do it. It's since he entered the league, he's been one of the best players. And every single year, he just gets better. And because we're talking about him, I'm going to talk about somebody that I don't have on my list that I feel like could definitely be on my list that is also in that Cameron Hayward level of disrespect. Just a shout out. Cameron Jordan, edge rusher for the Saints. He's been doing his thing for as long as he's entered the league, and everybody overlooks him. I don't have him in my top 10, but I did not overlook him. I just genuinely think these players are better. I just needed to give Cameron Jordan a shout out because I feel like that man gets no love and he should get all of it. But so at number 5, I have Micah Parsons. I think second year in the league, I'm throwing him into that top 5 defender conversation because as a rookie, he had the most pressures in the NFL. He had the most sacks for a rookie. He had double-digit sacks, and he can drop into coverage whenever he wants and guard your best slot receiver. So Micah Parsons, to me, is definitely a top 5 player. You had him at 8. I wasn't mad. I have him at 5. Who's your 5? Or you just did that, right?
Still Cam Hayward.
Yeah.
But my number 4, this is where it really starts showing love to Super Bowl champions. Got the cornerback, Jalen Ramsey. My heart wanted to throw him even higher than this, but then part of me also wanted to throw him a little bit lower because I seen there's a little bit in the Super Bowl that kind of made me a little bit, but it.
Bro, on the Super Bowl, he was literally on an island. For the Super Bowl, he looked at Sean McVay in his face and said, I don't care what happens. I want the best guy at all times. I want to be the guy in the air with the ball.
And you gotta love that, and you gotta love that mentality. And sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. It is what it is.
He got the dub, though.
I still have him in the top 5. Still have him at number 4 at the end of the day. All it did was drop him from 2 to 4. That's all it did.
I have him at 3. I have Jalen at 3. But let's not worry about that. At my number 4, I got edge rusher for the Browns, Myles Garrett.
Oh.
That man is undeniably a top 5 player in my opinion.
Yep. Oh, of course.
Bro, you see the video. He was at the left guard, then was at the center, then went right back to the left guard, and the left guard was nowhere there because nobody seen him. He literally disappeared in another dimension for 0.1 seconds and then reappeared in our dimension in a different location just to get a sack. I love Myles Garrett. Watching him play, and he hit Mason Rudolph with a helmet. How can you not love this guy? How can you not love Myles Garrett? So I got him at 4. And then, like I said, at number 3, I got cornerback for the Rams, Jalen Ramsey. Who is your third best defensive player?
And for number 3, I got edge rusher, outside linebacker, whatever the hell you want to call him, TJ Watt from the Steelers. Top 3 player in the league I got right now. I do believe the other 2 guys that I have on my list are a little bit scarier, a little bit more intimidating. We'll go into the quarterback. But let me hear your number 3. I mean, I guess everyone should know my number 1 and 2 at this point, but what's your number 3?
All right, so my number 3 was Jalen Ramsey, but my number 2 is TJ Watt.
Okay.
So
all right.
I put him at 2 now because I've gone pretty much my entire list and we both have the same number 1. I am really freaking concerned with who you put at 2 that I don't have in my list. I want to know how.
No. He's in your list.
Okay.
I agreed with you about Myles Garrett being in the top 5. I think he's number 2. That's who I have. And
so you're giving that much love to Myles?
I'm giving that much love to Myles Garrett because that dude has literally been the guy with Aaron Donald, if not Aaron Donald. I mean, TJ Watt could have been the dude last year with Depoy, but not besides him. It's been Myles Garrett every other time.
TJ Watt gets a lot of one-on-one looks because of that, because he has Cam Hayward on that same defensive line, because they do need to put more corners, just because the Steelers don't have real good corners. They run a lot of corner sets, so he does get a lot of one-on-one looks. And I don't think it matters because I think you could triple team him and he would still be in that top 3 conversation. So that's why I have TJ at 2, Myles Garrett at 4. I had to put a corner in my top 3 just because.
Yeah, I don't think we need to be that picky about it. And then number 1, I literally just wrote, "Come on, bro, Super Bowl champs." That's all.
I actually wrote his name because I wanted to keep it somewhat professional. But number 1, number 99 in our programs, number 1 in my heart, Aaron Donald, defensive line for the Rams. Hold on, I'm getting a FaceTime from Zach, so we'll put Zach on the podcast real fast. Wagwan. What y'all do?
I'm not at work, bro. I just called to tell you I miss you, bro.
Bro, I miss you too, dog. We filming a podcast right now. Say hi to the people.
What's up, beautiful?
Wagwan.
Hey, yeah, I'm filming a podcast, bro. I miss you too. Let me call you back in like an hour.
All right, brother. Only that.
All right. Love that nigga, bro. Love that man with all my heart. All right, bro. Okay, so that's it. Number 1, Aaron Donald. I don't even need to say anything else. He literally took He has put an entire franchise. Like, we're talking about a franchise that went 1-15. He put that franchise on his back. He's been to 2 Super Bowls. He's a reigning Super Bowl champ. I think he should have got Super Bowl MVP. I get it. Cooper Cup went off, but Aaron Donald's getting cool. But we'll talk about him. We'll talk about him in a little bit.
He's in a similar spot.
He's in a very similar spot on my offensive list. Very similar spot. But that wraps up our top 10 defensive players in the NFL for the upcoming 2022-2023 season. My list: Darius Leonard, Fred Warner, Cam Hayward, Nick Bosa, Max Crosby, Micah Parsons, Myles Garrett, Jalen Ramsey, TJ Watt, Aaron Donald. Mikey's list:
Matt Judon, Kevin Byard, Micah Parsons, Xavier Howard, Nick Bosa, Cam Hayward, Jalen Ramsey, TJ Watt, Myles Garrett, and then Mr. Obvious.
Mr. Obvious. Mr. Greatest of all time.
Spotlight on him at all times. There's not a play you're not looking at him.
Every single, like, you have to game plan for 99. Like, the Madden, like in Madden, when you're like,
yep,
Coach, I really think 99 is going to give us problems today. Blah, blah, blah. We should really game plan, run the opposite way. I usually just go, we got it. I don't even care. Whenever in Madden I'm playing Aaron Donald, I go, yes, sir. What do we have to do to not get this man on my ass? That man is a video game character. I love it. I absolutely love it. That wraps up our top 10 defensive players. Thank you so much, my G. I'll see you in 5 seconds when we record another one. But peace out, everybody. Love, respect, happiness, and football. Deuces.